Okay, welcome to Desert Dragons. Today I'll be looking at circling wing. I'm going to take it from the lens of the dummy or the attacker, and then why we have these little microcosms of techniques as responses to those places. With the help of Troy over here and Mr. Brian Eisenberg, I'll be looking at that and showcasing these pieces out here. I have Miss T on camera right now, so if anything goes askew, you know who to blame. Okay.
Right.
Circling wings, a two-hand grab. So I'm going to start out over here and have him just grab it. I'll go smooth your wrist. So. All right, Troy, taking on that. So what I'm going to be looking at is a piece coming out. We're coming up and over the fusion. This first place is I'm going to use a diagonal lock on his wrist. So that's coming down diagonally. You can do a vertical one out here, but this is a really nice diagonal. If I step bump and he pulls back, now I've got it. He's up. Anchors down, you got back knuckle hit. And this next piece, I'm just looking at this one here. Just this elbow coming up here is a piece of the technique. I've got my bracing angle, it's usually to the eyes. But if you got someone that's decent with grappling, they're already dropping height, and I need to match height, so I'm gonna drop and catch them here. You turn it up and over, and then you roll it to the back side, and someone can catch them in the groin. So that'll be that piece right there. So I'll do it from this angle here, just so you see. Actually, we'll go right on this one, Troy, thank you. He's driving me out to the corner, I bump, he's back. Diagonal lock coming down, you've got a back knuckle heel palm. If he drops height at this point, that just shot comes up out here. You can bring it right back and keep that arm on the inside. There's your groin strike, your heel kick if you need those out there. I'm gonna move to the extension on this part. Troy, at this point, we'll come back one more time. But he's stepping up and over. Here's my anchor. He's out, here's his drop. That arm got to cross, so I need to bring it down. I don't have the groin there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate and ride it in. I'm going to change my angle just slightly. I turn into crossing talon. Crossing talon has a grappling mode to it. He's shooting for the leg, so we work the knee and I bring it right back and isolate. One more time from there, just change angle slightly. So I went for this shot before he defends it. I'm going to wrap up and over, put it on my body, bring him down and in. You've got that knee to back knuckle to isolate. Okay. Next section. Troy's really good. Drop to a knee.
This one?
Yeah. What'd you just find, Troy? Troy's finding leverage. All right. He's got a whole lot of leverage there. And I know it's a real quick thing to get me out. So these are points, again, recognize I've got an arm bar right here and I need to take his arm and break. So you can use that fusion here. Taking away his leverage to pull out there. Ways to save your arm, turn it into your palm, and it'll start contouring back. And this is a place for the defender to practice the place out there. And there's your arm key. He's down on my arm, break. He curls, fusing it, and you've got this nice little spot out here. In Kempo, we know to defend this by collapsing the gap. You can see he's already pressing in there. This is where I'm going to extend the gap, roll him out. That's another strike out here. Isolation on the arm, using my body mechanics. Can you grab my wrist? Can you grab my ankle? Tough to get those two up there, okay? Good. All right. Everything good on you?
Everything good.
All right. Every now and then you got to check with these things. All right, grab it. Come to my corner, pump, back. Over the top, he drops. Here's a spot to practice. He's got that arm out. I can't quite get to the groin. So instead of fighting it, I'm going back and through. Roll him out and in. Knee, keep him off your leg. Back knuckle, elongate and isolate. And you can drop and break, that's where the technique is. I'm showing what he can practice as far as defending it. Drops to a knee, he's got some leverage. Yeah, and he just fused himself like a snail on my leg. Dang. Slide, catch. And I'm gonna start arm keying him. Turn it back, cross it out, elongate because he wants to close the gap. We learned this right out of crossing talon. Right there, there's your shot. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up for a second out here. I'm gonna slip Brian in for this piece. Now, part of this will be when you're looking at it, the challenge is if people have injuries, he's got a tender elbow, tender wrist, and he doesn't want it more tender. So we can work this piece slow. Troy is putting a little pressure on the thing. That doesn't often translate to the camera, but it's nice to know that you can put a little pressure on there and you can start finding your way out. You can start adding speed once you get your partners in a trustworthy place so you're not hurting them. So we got to this spot here, and I did the back knuckle and the isolation. Basically his wrist was this way, so I'm just gonna do it gently with him here. Close the gap, shoot your elbow, Lift up to the jaw, hammer the groin. Yeah, that's his defense right there. We know that from Kempo. We have it in our technique.
Okay, embedded.
1, 2, 3, and there's your groin. With him knowing this, I'm doing my extension. Start coming in. I elongate and isolate. His choice now, if he doesn't want me to roll him out, I want you pushing in flat onto my chest. Bear hug me. And he's got that out. He's now saved his wrist. He's now fused this to my body. Not backwards, just turn it over a little bit. Not backwards like it was before. That one I had the advantage. Use a fist and punch it down. Punch it, yeah. Now he's got it up and he can get his wrap and he can start working on taking me down. So at this point, this is where the next piece of the extension comes from. So I had him up to here. I'm trying to turn him over. He's gonna work his technique. I elongate him. He sees the break, turns it over. So we're just working the dumbing side and why we have these parts out, these components. I'm now gonna drop my weight and match him. Now I'm doing it slow and smooth. I don't wanna hurt these two anymore. You've got your cross behind at that point. And this is where we start working arm bar. And I'm gonna flatten him out all the way through. And you see your spot comes, you turn it. That'd be a wrist break out there. We always kick to the head because it's cool in camera. So, sir, we'll do it one more time out there. Just from this spot out here, okay? So, this is where Troy had left off out there. He's defending. I switched Brian in there. So you can see that you can work with your partner. Not everything's about war of attrition. Sometimes it's just practicing so he can get his practice too. I'm trying to take my, he's trying to do. Yeah, he's going, what is that one? So I'm going to extend. I'm learning how to defend that piece. I don't want to cross-check myself like this. He understands next. If he punches, he's now rotated his elbow. I need to recognize that. I'm gonna fuse it, drop my weight and match it. And that has to be like playing music. It has to be on time. Cross behind and this gets your vertical. You can do your elbow break out here. Define the storms, one of the examples here. You snap knee and hit. You got choices there, but I'm gonna take them all the way to flat. I do a vertical plane on it. You got to stomp on the face, head comes out the other side. You've got another break. You've got the steer kick to the head. So all those are sections. Good. I'm gonna run it one more time, just so you see the parts again with Troy. I'm gonna do it facing this way actually, so we'll be coming into the camera. Move up smoothly, elbow comes up and over. I got my shot out here, he shoots low, there's your clip. He's got that around, so he closes that doorway out there. So instead, I'm gonna take him and roll it. Knee, back knuckle, keep the isolation. We do the same down below, isolate the arm. And as I go to twist, we do the same thing. Now we're on the back of the arm. So I did one between my legs, working it down here, and now I'm working on top of the body. And there's your leverage, good. Okay, I'm gonna put Brian in right at that point. I went from the lower casing, just fold over. Lower casing break is here. Lower casing break's right down in this area here. Now put it right on my legs. He curls his hand. I follow that path, so I'm learning how to do that. I'm gonna take him to the next technique. Twisted twig. He knows to defend that. He goes to the bear hug. I've got my fusion. All in timing, drop. Cross behind, keep it fused until it's vertical. There's your break, and I'll bring the shoulder all the way down. We stomp the head just to turn the face the opposite direction. If you're in law enforcement, we need to place the couple. Break, drop and kick, and then you're done. Gentlemen, if you'd be so kind. Little exploration looking at the attacking side, places to create the transition so I can practice my defense, they can practice defense and their art within that piece. Both sides have value.